Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. We are going to be diving into another kind of paranormal video. This is from a channel I just don't know anything about. This is from a channel called Ghost Operations Afterlife. But this video was recommended to me by somebody who donated to my GoFundMe, so I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and check it out, give it a shot. You'd be surprised on how much you might like some of these less known paranormal channels, especially if you are actually enthusiastic about the paranormal. We're going to go ahead and dive into this. It's only 58 minutes long. I'll give you guys, of course, my opinions during and after the video. We are going to treat this like any other paranormal investigation. I'll pause it when I want to talk. I'll try to listen to everything they have to say. This should be a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much again, David, for donating to my GoFundMe. This video is dedicated to you. I really appreciate it. If anybody wants to go check out the GoFundMe to help me buy my childhood home, link will be in the description. Let's go ahead and dive into the video.
Did you just go near Chris? Make that meter light up again. Thank you.
We want to talk to one of the Moore family, somebody from the Moore family, or we want to talk to the person who killed him.
Asshole.
And why not?
Light that cat ball up if you want me to move the chair so you can come in.
Jeez Louise.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Would you like us to leave you alone? If so, light up a meter. You can even do the cat ball again. That one's pretty easy for you, it seems. So you do want us to leave you alone?
Dope background, man. Oh.
The night of June 10th, 1912, between midnight and 5 a.m. is when the murders happened. The whole family went to a Children's Day service thing at the church. They came home, and then the next morning, their chickens had not been let out or fed or anything. Josiah had not been to work, because nobody had heard from the family yet. The neighbor called the brother over. The brother opened the door, found everybody murdered.
I'm gonna turn this up really quick.
Just gonna do a quick session here at the cemetery of Villisca. See if we can get any kind of response. Is anybody? Just a quick little session.
Yeah, and we're at the headstones of the family who died.
I don't think I've ever seen the headstones of the family who were murdered in the Villisca Axe murder house. Wow. That's kind of dope. Look how big that headstone is with all their names on it. Oh my gosh, that's kind of awesome.
And Lena are actually over there a little bit, and Brittany's going to go over there and sit with the other two kids. But we placed coins on there, and Brittany got them some flowers, and we have the spirit box set up.
That's
but
awesome.
Yeah, you got the, what is it, the dad and the mom over here. So you got Josiah was the dad, Sarah was the mom, you got Herman, then you have Mary Catherine, Arthur, and Paul. And they died June 10th, 1912. And we got the K2 meter set up right here against the headstone. And we're going to start the spirit box and see if we get any type of answers. And over here was the other two children that spent the night with them that night. Their names was Lena and Ina.
Yeah, there they are, 1912. Poor kids, man. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
K2 meter, your batteries, nothing fancy. Got a recorder. Set it up right here. We'll go ahead and power everything on. See what we come up with.
So I'll get closer to this.
You know, I will say this, though. I will say this, and I do notice it's on a headstone, but I think what I would do if I was paranormal investigating would be keeping the equipment far away from each other, because I do not want any interference with any sort of anything. So that would be what I would do, is just maybe put that over there, maybe this over there, and the K2 meter, of course, off in its own little thing. That's what I would be doing, because there's plenty of space on that tombstone. And I've noticed that other channels do this. It's not just, this channel. It's other channels I've noticed that do this too, where they'll put everything so close together. And I'm not too sure why they do that. I guess it just makes it convenient to grab a lot faster, but I wouldn't do that. I'd much rather, walk the distance and grab it and at least, everything be separated personally.
The camera pick it up. It says anything. So we come here to pay our respects to the Moore family and to Lena and Ina. We're going to be visiting your house later today, and I just want you to know that we come here with all respect, and we just want to communicate with you if you're here. My name is Don. Chris. Brittany's over there. And if you'd like to say hello, you can do so.
We have the same exact recorder. Look at that. Yeah, I got one. I told you guys I'd be trying to get caught up on some of my paranormal hunting equipment. So when I go, I have one. Hell yeah, right? Got that for Christmas, as a matter of fact.
Said yes. Can you come back over and talk with us? I heard you say yes. Almost sound like you said Chris. Yes. Are we talking to Sarah? Is that Josiah? Okay with you? You sound like a man too, didn't it? You want to communicate with me? Can you come over here near this K2 meter? Let me know you're here.
Wow. It's definitely hard to make out, won't lie, and it does suck that there's wind blowing in the background, which makes it kind of difficult to hear. People always ask me, why don't you start going out and paranormal investigating now? Like, it doesn't, you don't have to have the best equipment, but yes, you do. Yes, you do, because it does make it hard to hear when interferences go off. Like, you need microphones, you need things like this so you can hear someone more clearly. There are things that you're going to want to need, or going to want to have when going out there and doing paranormal investigations like this. This is something I would probably do in my paranormal investigations. Would be go to the tombstones of some of these people and just pay my respects. That's something I would do. So I actually have a lot of respect for these people, these folks who decided to do that. I think that's really, really classy and really cool. Even when Ghost Adventures would do it, I just think it's classy. It's just a classy thing to do. It's just, you're just showing respect to the people who lost their lives. And these, unfortunate souls lost their lives in a brutal, unfortunate way. And it's heartbreaking. They were taken way too soon, and I got to give respect and props. But I do think that when ghost hunting, you probably want to get as much good equipment as possible, especially if you want to film. It does help your audience understand what's going on better and more clearly, right? I think that's fair of me to say. And again, have microphones in the proper sound capturing quality would help us hear that a lot better too. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, of course. But that's how I would do it, is just get all the equipment first and then start worrying about what I should be doing for paranormal investigating. But I like this. It's a good feeling.
Are you guys at peace? You guys have a really nice headstone. It's a really nice cemetery you guys are buried in. Could you say that again, please? Yeah. Yes or Chris. It almost sounded like the same way you hear like an EVP that they picked up and Matt saying like, yes. It wasn't just like a solid voice, it was like a ghosty type of voice. Can we talk to one of the family members of the Moors? Please?
Arthur, Paul, Mary, Herman. You
Now,
guys
someone's a
come
fan
out
of
and join us?
someone's a fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas. I couldn't help but look at his tattoos.
Someone said I can't. I mean, it could just be picking up at FAM station there. Is it okay if we investigate your house later today?
That's interesting.
Yeah. If you'd like us to hear your voice, if you speak into that machine right there that's on top of your headstone, we'll be able to hear you. The closer you get and the louder you speak, the better we can hear you. Can you tell us what your name is? Please?
Are you in any relation with the Moore family?
It's hard to make out. It's hard to make out, and a lot of it just really sounds randomized. I can't really tell if it's paranormal or not. Most of the stuff that's coming through doesn't even make any ounce of any sense with anything they're asking. So I just think it's one of the situations to where it's just jolting out random things. Even the yeses can be interpreted into something else like that, like something else, like how they said Chris, right? So I don't know. It doesn't feel all too paranormal-esque really right there. The only thing that's really kind of giving a paranormal vibe right now is the fact that they are at the tombstones of the people who were murdered. But I'm not really feeling or getting any ounce of anything crazy. And I don't even think the EMF reader has gone off. And I haven't been paying attention to it, but I don't think it's gone off.
Josiah.
You here? Calling for your children?
Do you not know where they are? Are they missing?
That was almost too hard to make out.
Josiah, if that's you, can you come over here next to this K2 meter? I'd like to see you light it up for me.
If you get close to it, it'll make them lights light up and it'll let us know that you're here with us. We came up here all the way from Ohio.
Nice.
Drove 12
I am also from Ohio.
Hours to come and visit you guys.
Very intrigued to meet you and speak with you. Are your children trapped?
Where are they trapped at?
Are they trapped in the house? Are you able to communicate with them?
It's tough, guys.
Repeat that? Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. It's that's all it's saying is yes, 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 yes. And I don't know. I don't know if it's paranormal. And they are asking questions, so of course the yes could go a long way. And it does sound like it's trying to say, or it's trying to come through with other words, but they're just too hard to make out. Let me know your guys' opinions down below. What do you think about this?
Can you tell me how you died?
This should be a good one. Can you tell me how you died?
I thought I heard a man say Edward, or I don't know, maybe.
Was that I don't know, or was that Edward? Are there any of the children present?
Yes again.
Yeah.
Who am I speaking with? Is this part of the Moore family?
Of course it's gonna say yes.
Do you like that K2 meter up?
Yes again.
Like, this definitely sounds like a man's voice, but it just keeps saying yes.
See?
Very
Yeah.
monotone voice. Can you tell us what your name is, please? Like a female or a kid. You said it again. Yes. Do you like people coming and visiting your grave?
Yes.
Yo, that sounded like a little kid.
Yeah, it did.
It sounded like a little kid.
Okay. Well, that's different at least. That did actually sound like a little kid. So that's kind of cool. And they acknowledged it. I was waiting for an acknowledgement. Yeah, bit of a different voice. Okay, finally. A different voice. Something else happening. Yes. 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 Yes.
Were you over there talking to Brittany? If you're talking to this right here, she'll be able to hear you. She heard a man say yes. And even, I heard a woman go, what'd she say? It's either like,
Yeah.
or, but it sounded like that ghosty, like whisper, like lengthy, yeah.
I know
Brittany brought you some flowers.
Okay, I want to go back just a little bit.
I know, Lena, are you guys here with us?
Brittany brought you some flowers.
Okay, was it back farther? Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I didn't just see that. I swear I saw the EMF reader go off to yellow.
Yeah. It sounded like that ghosty, like whisper, like lengthy. Yeah.
I know, Lena, are you guys here with us?
Okay, I think I was wrong. I don't know if it went off or not. I thought it did for a second, but
Brittany brought you some flowers. Yeah. We've been hearing like a woman, a man, and like that.
He said it was Josiah. But
Then it sounded like one time they said Edward. He asked, do you know who killed you? It sounded like he said Edward, or maybe he said like, I don't know. Thunder?
you can feel the rain clouds coming in.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to be at the Villisca house tonight?
So he said, yeah,
We're
what?
going to be staying at the Villisca house, so are you going to join us? We'd love to have your company. I didn't know who you were.
What? He's like, I'm not going back there.
Any of the children here from the Moore family?
yeah, that's the last place I'd want to be. If I were to die and I got to choose the place I could go back to and visit, I think my own personal house where I was butchered to death would be the last place I'd want to go. Personal opinion.
Can you please repeat that? But it's the same voice. Same man.
Are you
Yeah, it does have the
from
same
Moore family
tone.
or a friend?
It's almost sounding like a little kid. See you here, yes.
Can you tell us what your name is? Are you one of the mothers or one of the kids?
It's like I'm hearing like the words between like the. Is there a negative spirit that still resides in that home? The home that you lived in?
Get out of the town, Chris.
Is it safe to go into your home? Yes, or Chris again.
Nope, we're at the Villisca Axe Murder House. Okay, for that first session, there was just too much there that doesn't really make me feel like it was all too paranormal. The reason and the only thing that really makes me kind of think it could be paranormal was the fact that it was the same man voice that was coming through. It did sound like the same guy's voice. It just did. I don't know if that would indicate that it's automatically paranormal. I don't know how, these frequencies work too well. But that was a bit weird, if anything. And then the raindrop sounds, I don't know about that. I think that was just frequencies just being weird. I don't know. It was a bit odd, but certainly not a whole lot there. And it repeated yes a lot, which I don't know why it would repeat yes a lot.
All right.
Answering the questions, I guess.
Villisca Axe Murder House. And everything is too dark.
Oh, they're already in the house. God, I was looking at the window over there, and I seen someone's shadow, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait till he opens the door and goes in there. But okay, so it's just one of his pals. Gotcha. The guy with the hat. There we go. There we go.
Hey, Chris, go like this. Okay, it's good.
When I do that, you see how the light kind of goes up and down, dims and stuff? I wonder how to fix that. I'm not really sure how to fix it. I'm not a professional.
Oh, shit.
Brittany.
Scared the fuck out of me. I jumped off the ground. I actually jumped in the air and shit. Like the whole fucking house shook.
Yeah, because it's iron.
No, when I jumped, like I felt everything move under me, man.
Sorry, guys.
I mean,
First jump scare.
at least it only fell from like 3 inches, though. Imagine if
As
that,
long
like,
as it's not
fucking
broken.
Fell, like onto this from like up here.
That's like a hole in the floor if you drown.
Woo.
Well, never awake.
I'm not allowed to touch anything now.
I'm actually, I mean, shit happens.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. See, that shit happens. As long as you're not, kicking boo bears around the property, then you should be okay. Or breaking shit intentionally. That was clearly an accident. She didn't mean for that thing to fall. Obviously, I can tell the difference between somebody who's intentionally breaking something, being a jokester, playing around with something, and then just something accidentally happening. 100%. People are probably going to freak out saying, well, you went off on Colby for kicking the boo bear and, breaking stuff in, other houses, but you won't go off on them. Well, because you could tell the difference between a moment that was an accident and a moment that was just goofing around and being stupid. Just 100%. That was a complete accident. It happens.
So in here, this would have been the living room.
Or like how Seth Borden grabbed that knife and acted like he was stabbing the boo bear, right? He was actually playing with it and being dumb. This was just her picking it up and showing people, and it fell. Big difference. If he were to have broken the knife,
Turn on my flashlight.
it would have been his fault for goofing around with it. And by the way, if I ever go to a location, I'm going to establish the rules with the owners 100%. Like I would say, am I allowed to touch this? Am I allowed to touch that? If you don't want me touching certain things, let me know now so I will avoid them at all costs. That is something I would establish first off and foremost, and I'd make it known to the audience, probably in the beginning of the paranormal videos, that this is what they told me I can do and what I can't do. Yeah, 100%. I want to make it an establishment to where, like, you understand my limits on what I can do here.
Turn my flashlight on.
Turning flashlight on.
Over here we got the piano.
It's a really beautiful house.
And this would have been the room that Ida and Lena slept in, and this is also the room where the guy stabbed himself in the chest.
The room is occupied by Ina Stillinger, and age 8, and Lena Stillinger, age 11. That's pretty cool. I never knew that sign was there. Most of these bigger paranormal channels really don't show these signs. Yeah, I don't recall that sign ever being shown on video. Ina and Lena.
Okay, so we're in Villisca, Iowa, and we're going to be investigating the Villisca Axe murder house tonight. I'm sure a lot of people know the story already. A guy came in here, killed 8 people, 6 of them are children. People say there's a very dark entity here, evil spirit even, and some people even say they get the spirits of kids, or the people that passed away here. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so we have a REM pod right here, which this is the bed where the mom and the dad actually slept, right next to the stairs that goes downstairs. So this is where they were sleeping when it all went down. This right here is the attic, this is where we'll be doing our first session at. This is where the guy supposedly hid out the entire night till the family fell asleep. This room here, this was the room of all the children that belonged to the mom and the dad. So there's actually a picture of them up here. You got Boyd, you got Paul, you got Herman, and you have Catherine Moore, which is Mary Catherine Moore. So they also got murdered in here with the blunt end of an axe by the same man. And later we will be going downstairs where Ina and Lena were murdered. So I'm gonna close these doors behind me.
Okay, so the night of June 10th, 1912, whole family went to a Children's Day service thing at the church. They came home, and then the next morning their neighbor was knocking on the door. I think it was in the afternoon because nobody had heard from the family yet. Josiah had not been to work. Their chickens had not been let out or fed or anything, so they're knocking on the door. There's no answer. So the neighbor called the brother over. Brother opened the door, found everybody murdered. It is supposedly between midnight and 5 a.m. is when the murders happened. There were 2 cigarette butts found in here, so they suspected that the killer hid in the attic and then came out. So Josiah apparently was bludgeoned so badly to the face his eyeballs were missing. Which I had not heard that before, but gross.
Nope, I don't think I have either. To my knowledge, no, I only heard that he was just bludgeoningly murdered. That was news I didn't even know about. To my knowledge, I don't think I've heard that. I could be wrong about that. Maybe I just overlook things, but I don't think I've heard that.
Apparently, Lena Stillinger in the downstairs bedroom was awake during the attack. She had a defensive wound on her arm, and she was posed with her nightgown above her waist, and that's where the bacon was found, downstairs in that bedroom. 4-pound slab of bacon on the floor. Oh, there was untouched food in the kitchen, I do believe, in a bowl of bloody water allegedly found in there too. So I don't know if that, if he tried to wash his hands in between kills or what. But allegedly that was found there as well.
What I heard is that after he killed everybody, apparently he went downstairs to make himself a meal and then just left it. That's what I'm pretty sure I heard.
And then there were people who were questioned, but only one of them was charged with the actual crime, and that was the Reverend George Kelly. There was also a transient Miller. I don't know if I said his first name. Hang on. I'm not right to, I didn't write him down. Anyway, Miller. There's a whole book written about him called the man on the train. And he apparently was going town to town. And there was either where he had come from or where he had left to later on, there were more axe murders that were along the same line. So he was thought to be the person of interest after the Reverend Kelly was already charged with the murder. Reverend Kelly came into town the day before the murders took place to teach at the Children's Day services that they had. He came to town June 8th and left town between 5:50 a.m. or 5 a.m. and 5:50 a.m. the following day after the murders took place. Let's see. He confessed to the murders in court, but the jury did not believe his confession. But after that, I think he was acquitted. No, the jury didn't believe his confession, so they kind of threw the case out. But afterwards, he got like kind of weirdly obsessed with the case and started writing letters to private investigators, police officers, and members of the family of the deceased.
See, to me, the logical answer would be the guy who was going town to town murdering people with an axe would make the most sense on who murdered the family. It just would, because he was having obviously a record of doing it, and he was going town to town to do it. Now, I know that some channels have caught reverend, priest, and things like that in the voice recorders and some of their equipment, but I don't know. To me, the guy who was actually going around at the time and just murdering people with an axe just logically makes more sense to me. I don't know if I believe that the Reverend did it. I mean, clearly the courts didn't believe it, and maybe they thought because this guy was going town to town murdering people with an axe that they just thought that was a logical reason too. I don't know, but that's what I would think. And I don't know why he would want to take the blame for it if he really didn't do it. I don't know his reasons. It's hard to make out what could have really happened at the time.
About details of it, really like asking questions about everything, saying...
This room was occupied by J.B. Moore, age 43, and Mrs. J.B. Moore, age 39.
Details of what had happened. And then a private investigator actually wrote back to him asking about details of the case. And he replied with great detail, claiming to have heard sounds and possibly witnessed the murders, not saying he actually confessed to the murders with that correspondence back and forth. But he also had some mental illnesses, which made authorities question if he actually committed the murders or if he imagined them after hearing what had happened.
Okay.
In 1914, 2 years...
That would explain a lot if he had an issue, like a mental issue going on. That would explain a lot. I'm actually more lenient towards the man going around killing people with an axe at that point then. I'm not saying that the Reverend didn't do it. I'm not saying that he did do it. There was an actual guy literally murdering people with an axe, and this family ends up dead by being murdered with an axe. It just makes more sense. It's tough to tell, but I'm more lenient on the guy going around and killing the family than the pastor, and I could be wrong about that too, so don't quote me. Don't say that I'm saying that. I'm just more lenient on the axe murderer being the one who murdered people with an axe.
After the murders, Kelly was arrested for sending obscene material through the mail and sexually harassing women who had applied to be his personal secretary. He was sent to St. Elizabeth's Mental Hospital in Washington, D.C. Investigators speculated that he could have committed the murders because of the details that he was talking about, but he could have actually done it, or like I said, he could have been all in his head. But they retried him for the case in 1917, and he confessed, but it was after hours and hours of interrogation, so don't know back in the day if they probably gave him all those details and just tried to ask him, like, well, where were you when this part of it happened, or whatever. But he later recounted that confession, and after 2 separate trials, after that second one, he was acquitted. And then William Blackie Mansfield. There was another theory that Senator Jones hired this man to murder the Moore family. In September of 1911, similar cases occurred in Colorado Springs, and later on, Kansas, 2 different towns in Kansas, but it could have potentially been William Blackie Mansfield because he was also traveling town to town on the train. And then Miller, I did not write that part down.
So
which is another suspect.
Who is the most logical person to have done this, do you think?
I don't think it was the man on the train, but
I feel like it's
I feel like it's the
Reverend Kelly.
Reverend Kelly.
Agreed.
Just based on circumstantial evidence. He was here. He's left-handed, short. Was like 5'2". So if they describe the height of the person.
He was also alleged to be a pedophile, right?
Well,
Yes, he had been arrested a couple times
Yeah.
for peeping.
yeah.
And is that the same guy where they said that God told him to kill people? Told him to kill?
With his mental illness.
Yeah. God told him to kill, and also he was a pedophile. So he literally, both of those things happened in this house that night. And then his size, like you said, even there's so many things, dude. There's so many things that just add up to where it's almost an obvious thing. But there's just, I don't know, man. There's other things that happen too, where it just like,
Because again, you can't ignore the fact that at the time there was an axe murderer going around from town to town. That's factual too. Yeah, that's a good point. The 5'2" thing, I wasn't even thinking about that. The height, all that stuff. The fact that the guy was a pedophile, that definitely could have played into it a lot. Both were obviously horrible human beings. I just figured, and maybe he wanted to use the axe thing as a kind of a getaway, right? Like a complete alibi or whatever you want to call it. He just wanted to, because there was an axe murder going around. Maybe he thought he could use an axe to maybe make people think that the axe murderer was going around killing people. But then again, why would he confess to the murders then if he was going to do that anyways? There's just a lot of stuff here that I just doesn't really add up. I don't know. I'm a little bit jumbled because it's interesting hearing them say that they think it was the Reverend Kelly, and it could have very much been Reverend Kelly. Having said that, though, logically, the guy did have mental problems going on, and he was a fucking creep, but one of them was factually going around with an axe and murdering. So you got that as a fact, like the guy was a creep, and he had mental issues, and then you have this guy who was a complete murderer. I can see why this murder mystery hasn't really been solved all completely, because you just don't know. Both of them were around at the same time, and both of them certainly could have played into it.
we'll never know, you know what I mean? But I think it's him. I think it's him, the Reverend.
I'm a little biased because there's that entity that people talk about. I mean, the man came in here and stabbed himself in the chest. So
Yeah.
what's to say, did the Moore family build this house and something happened then or before? I mean, it's kind of hard to say one way or the other. You know,
Right.
stories get twisted over time, traveling mouth to mouth.
Again, Reverend says that he was talked to by God to go kill these people. What if it wasn't God? What if it's like a demonic entity posing as God or something?
Like a leech.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
because
they always.
well, that's a fact. God first off wouldn't tell anybody to go kill anybody. That's how you already know it's not God. I mean, but there are some people out there who view demons as gods. And I guess in comparison to us, they probably would be more God-esque than us because, you know, they're not naturally from this world and they're talking to us telepathically and whatever you want to go ahead and say. But even then, just because he was saying stupid shit like that and crazy shit like that, that doesn't mean he was automatically the man who did these things. Now, you know, remember, you got to keep in mind, too, that there's other murders that have happened with situations like this where they said that God voices were telling them to do it. And, I mean, the Amityville Horror situation with Ronnie DeFeo Jr., very much similar to this. As a matter of fact, the windows are very much Amityville, reminding me of Amityville. I'm surprised no one's made that connection yet. The guy obviously had problems, mental problems, like, obviously.
Say, too, like, demons or, like, evil spirits, they try to disguise themselves as something that is more comfortable to a child.
Yeah,
So
more
what's
comfortable to the person in general?
And what would be comfortable to a reverend? Be
God.
claiming to be God, right?
The Holy Spirit.
So yeah, I mean, this could be some evil entity that actually has lived here before the Moors. That's just finally found something that it can cling on to, somebody crazy in the head already. And luckily, this guy just got off. You know what I mean? Like, he probably should have been charged and all that shit, but he didn't, you know? Yep. So,
You guys met him?
the owner of the house, he had a team, I think. I don't know if it was a team or just a certain guy that came over to the house, and he set up a voice recorder. I want to say it probably upstairs here. I don't remember if he told me specifically where the guy had the recorder, but He turned it on. They went outside. They were bullshitting outside for a bit. Came back in. They checked the recorder, and this is actually what they picked up right here. This, and that actually might possibly be the first time that that's been replayed up here after it's been picked up on the recording. He did say that he actually came in the house, was going to play this recording in here, and he felt very strange vibes and like a very strong feeling not to play this in here. Not even thinking about it, but we just played it in here, and this is supposedly where the guy who did this, if that is a reenactment of what happened that night, he already done heard this before. So this should trigger something if he's here right now, you know what I mean? Or whatever was in him, that's got to trigger it. I just got dizzy as fuck.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Do you feel heavy or anything?
No, it was just like a quick, like...
Disoriented.
It was just a quick, like, dizziness for a second. I mean, like a second. It wasn't like something heavy, but... Yeah, and he also said that this place is really big for manipulating your head, making you think things or do things. It breaks a lot of teams up. It starts a lot of fights. Like you said, a dude stabbed himself in the chest with a Bowie knife, man. Like, he had to get life flighted out of this place. So he came in here with the intent. It was the second time coming here. He's been here before. The second time he came, he told the guy, he said, man, I'm coming in here. I'm giving this house a piece of my mind. He said, go for it, bro. So this dude came in here provoking hardcore, right? Hard. And I guess the house won. You know what I mean? So...
Did he end up dying?
He didn't die. No, he got life flighted out, though. And so... yeah, man, like, this house could potentially hold some really dangerous shit. You know, I mean, that's what we're going to find out. We're here, and we're going to find that out. So we're definitely going to start here in the attic, because if you think about it, the guy was in this attic, supposedly. I'm pretty sure he...
I mean, I've never heard that video, that audio evidence before, and that made me insanely uncomfortable. It sounded like a couple kids brutally being butchered. That made me ill. That made me sick. How can any fucking person just do something like that? They literally have people begging for their lives. Mentally, I cannot understand. How can you do something so horrifically horrendous?
He was probably in this attic, and I mean, it's direct route straight to the parents, man. I mean, I'm sure he didn't walk up them stairs without being heard. So, and the cigarette butts that were up here, that's a lot of evidence saying he was probably up here. So we'll start here, because that's kind of where that night started in a way.
Here's something I want to know.
Being in here and
Here's something I want to know. Was the Reverend ever a smoker? That's never been questioned. Was he ever a smoker? I don't know if he was ever a smoker, but it's something that's never been dropped. If he was never a smoker, because they said that the guy was up there smoking cigarettes. Was he ever a smoker? Please, someone leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know if he was or not.
His own mind holding that axe and just waiting for that moment, the anticipation. That's a lot of build-up energy going through this guy's brain. So we're going to start up here and see if maybe we can communicate with him or even anybody, anything that we can communicate with. So,
was it noted anywhere whether or not the Reverend smoked?
Not that I saw.
Or were there any notes about
that's actually a good question.
Yeah.
Like the family members smoking.
Not that I recall reading at all.
And we got a couple cat balls, one here.
Yeah, that's a pretty fucking good question. I'd be looking that shit up right now. Did the Reverend ever smoke cigarettes? Because that could determine whether or not the guy was actually up there or not, right? And it was never told, because if he was already saying that he committed the murders, was it ever told and described how he did it and what he did without him being actually at the scene of the crime? Was that ever something that happened? Like, because apparently he did it, so he should have every ounce of any information that could have, in detail, that could have happened that night. Because if he was already admitting to it, he might as well have.
One over there. We got the motion sensor in the hallway.
Cold chills?
Goosebumps.
Is it picking up anything?
Like my whole upper body's. Yeah. I don't know.
Can I see?
There's nothing in here. You got your rep cool air blowing.
Yeah,
at you,
I can feel that.
No, like,
Yeah, but so do I. I don't feel it at all.
Let me see on
yeah,
that.
I've been
There's-
sitting here
there's
like this
nothing
for a
there.
hot minute.
He's
and-
still hot.
Yeah.
His arms.
I can feel cold air down here, but it's not cold enough where it's going to give me a cold chill. So,
Did you just go near Chris? Make that meter light up again. There you go. Thank you.
You can stop now. Thank you.
Are you a demon in the house?
Light that meter up if you're evil. If you have evil intent.
Is this... I was going to say Reverend Kelly.
My camera just unfocused.
I want to repeat the question. Light the meter up if yes. Is this Reverend Kelly? Okay, previous question. Is this a demonic spirit that resides in this house? Please light the meter up for yes. Are you one of the family members that were murdered in this house? Please light the meter up. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
It almost sounded like the door closing.
If you're in another room, could you make yourself known, please? Could you walk in this hallway? Right at... Morse code.
We should definitely do a spirit box session in here, though.
That's what that sounds like.
It's like it wants to talk to us.
Orange
And
blue.
it holds that too. It held that orange for like a good 5 seconds. Just held that blue for like 5 seconds. Can you bring it all the way to red, please? Touch it for us.
And it didn't happen. Communication with MLE meter stopped, so we decided to use the spirit box. Very good, very good.
Okay, we're gonna play this audio recording for you. Let me know how you feel about this. If you have anything to say about what you hear.
We are. We can't. Maybe.
Is this what happened the night you got murdered?
did this happen in this house?
Just let it bring for like a hot sec.
Look, I don't know if that audio is real or not. Because if that is real audio, I mean, that is the clearest shit I might have ever heard in my entire life. So I can't really sit here and tell you because I don't know the person. I don't know what they've done. I'm not sure if they're, I'm not 100% with their history of doing paranormal investigations. I just don't know. So if that is real, that is the craziest shit. Should be almost documented. Because, again, that is some of the craziest things to hear in this house without any interferences. And EVPs normally are even, it's remotely even a fucking amazing thing when it's even a sentence is said. The fact that you hear screaming and crying and freaking out, like, for at least almost a minute, never happens. But it sounds real. It sounds heartbreaking and it sounds intense, whatever's going on in there. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think that's fake? It very much well could be.
Can you please get closer to that device?
Someone said something. I couldn't make it out, though. Hey!
Were those the sounds of that happened that night?
Were these the voices of the kids?
June 10th, right?
Of the Moors?
What does that? What is the meaning behind this? Because this was recorded after. Are these children,
You know.
women trapped here?
Pick me. I did it.
Is this the pastor?
For this,
Can you come sit right down here next to us and talk with us? The one that said I did it?
We want to talk to one of the Moore family, somebody from the Moore family, or we want to talk to the person who
No.
killed them.
asshole.
And why not?
Well, who are you to tell us no?
Yeah, who are you?
It was early in the day, and we weren't getting much response from the spirit box. I mean, it was going pretty good, but maybe it stopped after that. We decided to take a break. We left a GoPro in the attic and captured something pretty strange. A red ball of light appears. It looks like two red balls of red light. Ah, yeah, I guess you could interpret it that way, huh? I guess that's a reflection. That's interesting. That is interesting. I'm assuming that's a reflection, so that even has a reflection. Weird. Weird for sure. Really nobody to hide there either. There's no room. I just saw it again. The girls do a session in Ina and Lena's room and get some communication from what seems to be a shy spirit or
Maybe
child.
we should just talk about, like, thought-wise. I mean, I'm a little girl. You know, maybe think about something happy, like the moments before coming here with
Yeah,
friends.
like what they did at church. And
Like the festivities that went on at church, like
yeah.
seeing all their friends there, and maybe something along that,
Yeah.
rather than asking them
And I think they put on.
traumatizing things.
I think they put on like a play or like a choir. Just it doesn't seem like there's anything here.
Yeah, like standing here, like I kept feeling like moments of being heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and then fine, and then my ears, like they're fine now, but like it was throbbing back. Where it was like woo, 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 like a surge.
But it almost feels like not as.
Now it doesn't.
But like.
Now the guys have left.
Yeah.
Like I feel fine.
It's
I
like
feel
it's not like.
yeah.
It almost felt heavy, but like claustrophobic for moments.
Shit, fucking cat balls everywhere. Say I brought a new doll for them. They might want to play with that.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys might get luck if you set it like near the millimeter. Maybe
Yeah.
they'll go over and try to grab the doll.
Okay. So Dawn was actually really nice enough, girls, and brought you a cute little doll. I believe her name's Coraline. She actually has buttons for eyes, and she has a little raincoat. We're gonna sit her here for you. So if you guys wanna play with her, she's even got fun blue hair. you can always play with her. See, like stepping back here now, I feel heavy, like, I don't know if it's the dresser or what.
You guys happy now that the guys are all outside?
That was probably really scary, huh? Were you good friends with the Moores and enjoyed playing with Mary Elizabeth and the boys? The cat wall just lit up. You guys can come in. I'm sorry if I'm in your way. We would love to kind of talk to you. Did you sing songs and stuff at church and maybe play on a playground? Look, it lit up again. And none of us are moving. You can come in the room. Is the chair in the way? Light that cat ball up if you want me to move the chair so you can come in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We want to make it easier for you guys to.
Sorry for
Be in
blocking
here.
your way. You can come in now. We left a little doll on the bed for you. Can you walk over to the bed and touch the meter like you touched the cat ball?
If anybody can go back to like Sam and Colby's overnights videos of them at the Villisca Axe Murder House, please tell me if you see that Coraline doll, because now we know the origin stories if they had decided to leave it there.
Is the Moore family in here with us?
Instead of having them like sit on the bed, because that's where the shit happened. Like, what if we have them sit on the chair?
Okay.
Alright, so we just moved the K2 onto the chair. We're gonna see if that will be.
Do you want to sit in the chair with us? Do you want to talk about church? What was your favorite activity at church? Did you guys sit down and color and sing songs?
Is there a reason you don't want to come into this room? If so, can you touch the cat ball on the floor over there again?
It's okay, we won't be mad if you don't want to come in. Is there something stopping you from coming in this room? If so, you can touch that cat ball so we know. Please? Would you like us to leave you alone? If so, light up a meter. You can even do the cat ball again. That one's pretty easy for you, it seems. So you do want us to leave you alone? I just got like cold chills.
Sounds like it.
No.
Can you light that up again if you do want us to leave you alone? That's okay, we won't be mad. We'll actually take a break of our own too. If so, please light up a meter for us.
Is there something still blocking you from coming into the room? Fucking AC.
Are you another spirit of the house? Not associated to the Moores or the Stillingers? If so, you can light up a meter for us so we have an idea of who we are actually talking to. Oh, so you are somebody different. Well, I'm Brittany. It's nice to meet you.
Unless you're the killer.
I'm Carrie.
So are you evil? Or if you're evil, can you light up a ball or a meter in here for us? Were you sick when this happened? Or was your sickness part of the reason why it happened?
Carrie and Brittany didn't get any more communication in the room. I would honestly say there was barely anything at all. Almost nothing in that room. Barely any communication. Yeah, the devices went off and everything, but other than that, there wasn't really anything that happened that made me think that it's insanely haunted, right? So far, these people have been very respectful, even going to the gravesite of the family, and nothing happened. They had a couple of things with the Estes method that happened, which were very interesting, probably the most fascinating parts of it, and it did sound kind of like something the Reverend would go with, like, you know, it was me and stuff. Yeah, that, and then the red dot, I'm not sure if that was paranormal or not, I just don't have a lot of context there. I can take their word for it that maybe that was something that disappeared. It looked like it could have been a device, for all I know. I don't know. It was very tough to tell. And as someone who actually has seen smoke appear in the middle of a room before and get blown in my face, yeah, real story. I was in my parents' bedroom as a kid, and I was pretty much experiencing what I would say was, in a sense, poltergeist activity, and then all of a sudden, at the end of it, I saw a puff of smoke appear right in front of the television screen while I'm watching it, and then it got blown in my face. I remember every detail. I remember I was coughing, I couldn't stop coughing. I walked out of the room, and I had a fever. It was pretty crazy. Oh my God, it was like when I was 7 or... We did more sessions in some of the other rooms with not much luck. We did another session in the attic, and something caused Carrie to feel ill.
We all went back up there, and we're sitting there and just listening to the recording, and Carrie got like extremely nauseous, and she said like something felt like it was like, I don't know, like pressure on her throat. And so she had to get up and leave. So we went to go see if she was okay, and she looked super pale. And then we went outside, and she laid on the ground. She said like she just felt like pressure in her chest. She said like, I don't know, man. She said her heart was racing and stuff, but we're pretty sure she's okay. She just says she's okay. She's getting something.
Nope, cut off right there. I did walk around to the house before we left. This was a fun investigation. The next day, Carrie, Ron, and I headed to Kansas to meet Sally. The Sally house, I'm assuming. Right? Yeah, Sally house is in Kansas, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It is like 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 9 o'clock in the morning in the Villisca axe murder house in Villisca, Iowa. This was the bedroom of Ina and Lena Stillinger. I left this recorder going for the last almost 4 hours. Just want to go ahead and stop that. But yeah, this hopefully maybe pick some crazy stuff up. Then this would have been like the kitchen.
It's so cool, man. The house looks so great.
Store. Little cupboard. And the stairs, man, super narrow. Might even be a little darker up here, but I have another recorder sitting right here. You know what, I'll go ahead and leave this one on. We're gonna walk around. These stairs are really narrow, got a little sharp turn to them. So when you first get up here, you have Sarah and Josiah Moore's bed. And this would have been the first victims that he had. And to cover the mirrors back up. And this is the attic, where he supposedly sat and waited till the whole family fell asleep. Sitting there with an axe, waiting for the right moment. It's very tight now. You gotta duck and hit your head like that many times throughout the night. And in here is where the rest of the children slept. This is where the Moore's children slept. Boyd, Paul, Herman, and Mary Catherine. Here's just a little closet in here with some toys. But our investigation last night, the place is haunted for sure. I mean, we actually got an EVP that we heard already. We were going through one of the
Okay, it was one of them talking. Well, I mean, at least you were honest about it.
voice recorders we had set up, and we heard a man say, "That's mine," like clear as day, man. But
it was
yeah,
just
it's a
one of you
fun
guys.
place to investigate. I mean, we just drove 12 hours from Ohio to Villisca. It's worth it.
I'm glad it was
Now,
worth it.
We're going to be leaving soon, headed to Kansas, Atchison, Kansas, to investigate the Sally house. So that's going to be pretty cool. I think I slept for maybe an hour and a half. Maybe an hour and a half.
I want to get some sleep, man.
I should also, like up here,
My gosh.
there's like an axe spot where the sharp end of the axe actually hit the wall when he struck down under the bed. I'll cover this up. Yeah, so I highly recommend anybody who's never been to the Villisca house, definitely come and check it out. Okay, I'm having a little trouble trying to cover this mirror. But yeah, there's that right there. J.B. Moore, age 43, and Mrs. J.B. Moore, age 39. So, might as well turn these air conditioners back on for the next group of people, so it's nice and cool in here. Yeah, also just doing like a last little sweep, making sure we didn't leave nothing behind.
I get you. I get you. Respect.
My throat feels very dry.
Get some water.
Very dry. Let's see, tidy some things up. There we go.
Okay, that was it. Being this is my first reaction to any of their investigations, not bad at all. It's a pretty cool investigation. You know, sometimes you don't get much of anything, and this is one of the situations where it feels like we didn't really get a whole lot of anything. The Estes method again. There was some pretty interesting things that came through. The stuff at the grave site was interesting. The cemetery was interesting, but I don't feel like anything paranormal really happened there. There wasn't a whole lot going on. And the repeating of yes, it just didn't feel all too like it was being consistent with what they were asking. Yeah, it was fine. It was a fine investigation. I would be down to check more stuff out like this, guys. So again, if you want to leave any recommendations, go over to the maybe Discord or just leave them down in the description below. That's fine too. Let me know your guys' personal thoughts on this. And again, if you have any information about the Villisca Axe Murder House that maybe they didn't go over, leave it in the comments section. I think that would be really cool. And hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, go support the original video, get these guys up to maybe a few more subscribers. I think they were at 400 something when I last checked. Maybe get them up there a little bit more, show a little bit of support, give them a little bit of love. I don't know how many people have reacted to their stuff, so this is pretty cool. I mean, I'm genuinely pretty happy I decided to check this out. And thank you, David, again for recommending it and leaving a donation on my GoFundMe. I do hope to hit that goal at some point on GoFundMe. Having said that, guys, please do take care, and I'll see you in the next one.
JCARTSARTS is throwing down, coming after all these paranormal clowns. He's watching, not letting get away. On his way, JCARTSARTS, tearing the fakers apart. He with his heart, no one dare tell him can't react, because JCARTS has your back. JCARTSARTS has your back. JCARTSARTS is throwing down, coming after me. If you can't stay, JCARTSARTS is through. You won't be mended.